No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as any manner of thy friends, or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. Famous words by John Donne, poet, civil servant, and ultimately Dean of St. Paul's, whom the Church in its calendar remembers today. He was born in 1572, but this meditation seems to be particularly apt for our socially isolated situation. His words suggest that it is physical rather than social isolation that we should aim for. I'm involved in mankind, he says. Humans are social beings made for relationship, and without relationship, our physical, mental, and spiritual health will suffer. So if we are to be physically separate from one another, we must find other ways to express our need for social interaction. The Palace of Westminster, for example, is a place where no one is an island, and clearly this virus is no respecter of prime ministers or health secretaries. But they and we must continue to resist social isolation and find ways in which we can express our mutual responsibility to care for each other. So I am very pleased to be part of a team which is prioritizing mutual support, care and outreach, and which is finding creative ways of expressing that. I've been self-isolating for some weeks because of my respiratory condition, and I'm finding that our daily 10 a.m. catch-up via Zoom is a lifeline, as is our live-streamed Sunday service. And we now have a system up and running to keep in touch with all of you by phone, so please do make use of that. These times are a real opportunity for the Church and each one of us not to hide behind our four walls and pull up the drawbridge, but to continue to reach out in prayer and by means of technology. We are part of a worldwide Anglican communion, and Caroline Cox was only reminding me this week that Christians in Nigeria, for example, continue to need our prayers. And the virus will be particularly devastating for those living in poverty and in close proximity to each other, the townships in South Africa, for example. John Donne was born 30 years after Copernicus published his theory that the Earth was not the center of the universe, and that the Earth went round the sun rather than the other way round. The Protestant and Catholic churches were horrified and declared such a view heretical because it went against inherited biblical teaching. The church has often been frightened of too much reality. But Donne, on the other hand, welcomed the debate and the overthrowing of old certainties. He wrote, "The sun is lost, and the earth, and no man's wit can well direct him where to look for it." When this virus goes, and it will, we must not shy away from the questions it asks about our manner of life and the realities underlying that. It will be an opportunity to ask, for example, is this journey by air or land really necessary? And do I really need to buy this? Physical isolation is giving more opportunity to develop a contemplative pattern of living that will strengthen us for the weeks ahead, and it will open our eyes and our hearts and enable us to pay attention to uncomfortable realities to which we have hitherto been blind. The earth and resource-poor countries in particular are suffering because of that blindness.